Hey, what's up everybody? JayzTwoCents here, and if you've been following my social media, then you knew we had some more topics coming regarding this guy, the GTX 980 Ti, which I'm sure that a lot of you are sick about hearing, or sick of hearing about, whatever. NVIDIA kept this thing under wraps, which meant that there was no day one custom PCB options for the 980 Ti, as I'm waving it around like a freaking chopping axe. A lot of you guys were like, hey, the 980 Ti is pretty awesome, but I kind of want to wait for some custom PCB options. Well guys, we're taking a look at our very first custom PCB here for the 980 Ti on the channel, and that is going to be the G1 Gaming from Gigabyte. This is a card that many of you specifically were waiting for, so let's go ahead and see how this thing stacks up. The new EVGA Silent Series power supplies offer excellent silence and efficiency through their new EVGA Eco Mode technology, and also features a 7-year warranty for worry-free gaming. Click the link in the description to learn more. Well, here she is. It's a she. I've dubbed it a she. It's she. It's Shirley. Or call her Shirley. Now you might notice right off the bat it looks a little bit different than your standard G1 Gaming cooler. Well, that's because they've added some aluminum accents to the front and to the back. So that kind of makes it a little bit different than the previous G1 Gaming that you found on the 980 and the 980 or the 970. Now, of course, the G1 Gaming is built custom from the ground up by Gigabyte using NVIDIA's GM200 core. Now, obviously, this is the 980 Ti, so it's got 2816 CUDA cores versus Titan X's 3072. But you know, when it comes to core clocks and just overall headroom with that 256 CUDA cores, it's not hard to get nipping at the heels of Titan X performance on cards that have less CUDA cores, because they can get much better overclocks out of these things. Remember, the Titan X card, companies like Gigabyte and EVGA, Zotac, and all of them are not able to build custom cards. They can come up with custom coolers, but they cannot come up with custom cards and custom PCBs to improve upon the design. That is completely managed in-house by NVIDIA. So that's why the 980 Ti was so exciting to so many people, because we knew cards like this were going to be coming to the market. Now, there's not a whole lot different about this cooler on the 980 Ti versus the 980. I mean, you've got the color accents on there. You've got the same legendary I/O. I mean, many people are still using DVI. DVI cables are able to give you up to 144 hertz if you're using a dual link DVI anyway. But you've got your two DVIs, a DVI-I and a DVI-D, 3 display ports, and an HDMI 2.0. So you've got so much connectivity on this card. It's freaking amazing. Now, it is a single BIOS card. There's no second BIOS on this thing, so that's a little bit of a sacrifice there, but considering what you get overall with this card, that's a sacrifice I think that's worth making. Most of the time, the second BIOS isn't going to matter to you unless you're doing custom BIOS flashing, and the second BIOS on most cards usually is just a different fan profile. It doesn't give you any better overclocking. Now, unlike the reference model, this thing does require 2 8-pin PCI plugs, or PCI Express power plugs on there. That's because this thing, like I said, custom PCB. Bet you guys didn't know I was going to say that again. Okay, so let's just take a second here to talk about the cooler. The cooler on this thing is absolutely massive and beefcake. This card is heavy. That's because it's got 5 massive copper heat pipes running the entire length of the card. You have a shit ton of fins on this thing, and you have a copper base that's covering not only the core, but also all of the RAM, as well as active cooling for the VRMs. Thank you, Gigabyte. I don't know why some companies just don't seem to think VRM cooling is very important. So this thing is absolutely beefcake. This is heavier than even the 980, if I'm not mistaken. It might be the same weight, but man, compared to the 970 and the 960 versions of this thing is freaking, it's like, I mean, I could be doing curls with this thing and I would get tired. But last but not least, they did give us a multi-color changing LED on the top of the graphics card. This thing's got 7 different colors that you can choose from. It's not RGB, meaning you can't like pick it from a spectrum of color. You can't customize the color in terms of, you know, the 18.6 million or whatever it really is. You get 7 colors to choose from, and so now you're not going to be stuck with that blue LED that was on all the other WindForce and G1 Gaming cards. You now can customize this to your build needs. That's cool, because now the G1 Gaming card is an option for people doing like red builds or yellow builds. There's even a yellow LED on this thing. Maybe they were thinking about Skunkworks. I don't know. But that is freaking amazing. Thank you guys. It's the little things like that that make these cards so exciting. And then of course, the same amazing backplate that it comes on all of the G1 Gaming cards. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and put it on the test bench and let's compare it to the 980 Ti reference and the Titan X to see exactly how this thing is performing.
Transition.
Well, there you go, guys. The GTX 980 Ti G1 Gaming from Gigabyte is still one of the top dogs when it comes to just being some of the best GPUs that you can buy. Gigabyte puts so much effort into this line of product. It just really goes to show that their enthusiasm for gamers and their just willingness to be non-compromising when it comes to the amount of quality that they put into these cards is really one of the best that you can get on the market. I mean, they're what they call their GPU gauntlet, which is their own personal binning process of making sure that you get the best GPUs possible, or cores inside these GPUs. It definitely is apparent. I mean, I was able to get this thing up to 1529 megahertz. Now, I know some folks are going to be like, well, the tests weren't fair because the Titan was only at 1400. Well, truth be told, that sample of the Titan won't go any higher than 1400. Anything above that and it continues to crash. So you know, unfortunately the ones in Skunkworks are getting much higher. They're getting up to about 1450, but that 50 megahertz isn't going to make a huge difference. But as you can see, for much less in the price of a Titan, you can get something like the G1 Gaming, which is going to match the Titan in performance, be quieter. In fact, let's go ahead and take a quick test here of how the sound is of the reference card on the Titan, the 980 Ti, and the G1 Gaming from Gigabyte. Well, unless you're the kind of gamer that likes to listen to a vacuum cleaner while you're gaming, obviously the reference blower cooler is not going to be for you. So fortunately, there are going to be a lot of different custom coolers available in 980 Ti trim coming out in the future. But G1 Gaming here, pretty much beating out most of the other aftermarket coolers and custom PCB options. Don't forget, this is a custom PCB. It is not reference. It is completely built from the ground up by Gigabyte. Giving you fantastic overclocking, amazing temperatures, amazing noise level, 72 degrees Celsius while overclocked, maintaining this whisper noise level is absolutely fantastic. And then on top of it all, they've listened to us finally and stopped giving us just the blue LED. And now you have 7 colors to choose from when it comes to LEDs. I mean, you've got white, red, blue, yellow, green, teal, purple. I mean, it's like pretty much any build aesthetic that you've got now, you can accommodate that with the card, with the LEDs, and not just have that clashing blue LED, which a lot of people complained about. So stepping up the game, the G1 Gaming from Gigabyte definitely is a card to be reckoned with. So there you go, guys. I'm going to be at E3 this week. That means unless I can find a way to get a mobile Tech Talk station going while I'm out at E3 on Thursday, Tech Talk this week will probably be postponed again, simply because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be at the LA Convention Center visiting and looking around at what's going on at E3. It's actually my first time going to E3. I've seen E3, I've watched live events, I've never actually been to it, so this is going to be kind of fun. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this card. It will be available soon. You're probably not going to find it at Amazon or Newegg or anything yet. It's going to be available soon. There's only been a couple of samples sent out, so give it some time. They've got to actually make this stuff. It takes time to manufacture it. So there you go. As always, guys, follow on social media if you want to have some fun conversations or make fun of me or get irritated with all the cycling stuff I put up, whatever. Whatever the case may be, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.